Counsel, you can go with him if you like. So I've given a lot of thought to this case, reviewed the PSI very carefully, considered all the evidence presented at trial. And let me just tell you right up front, I do not believe a youthful offender sentence is appropriate in this case. I'm not going to impose one. I'm going to sentence him to an adult sanction. So then my next...
People of Star, for the Star, nah, we back at you. This Y&R Mookie sentenced to 10 years in prison. Hopefully he becomes the man he was meant to be within that 5 to 10 years that he gonna be gone. We can almost guarantee that it won't be the same world when he get out. She said, I don't think I need to impose the useful offenders thing. I'm going to charge him like an adult. So in other words, she want to make an example out of him and not give him the benefit of the doubt that he was a minor making these uneducated and more sentimental based actions or interactions with other individuals. 10 years for the shit that he may or may not have done allegedly is a blessing, is what black people like to call it. Like a blessing. Did he get 85%? Even if he did get 85% for the shit that he was up against as far as the streets and shit like that, that 8 years probably saved his life.
Question then to me, after determining that a youthful offender sentence is not appropriate in this case, of what an appropriate sentence is. I do think a 20-year sentence is excessive, and I'm not going to impose a 20-year sentence in prison.
At least shout out to her for not giving the boy 20 years. Shout out Glizzy World dispensaries located in Cali. You heard me? Yes, sir. Shout out to her for not giving him 20 years. I can't say the same for my homie. Free my homie, man, Herb. Free my nigga T.Y. Free my nigga Lil Josh. Oh my baby though. All of they ass got 25 years plus. Some of them for all of them for shooting. Some of them for murder. Some of them for just shooting at a motherfucker. So I don't know what all the charges that he was facing. But obviously she shows some type of leniency towards him as far as not giving him not throwing the book at him. Some people would have thought he maybe needed the book thrown at him. This is why I say we live in this illusion that we gotta fight and kill our own kind. But look how we look when we get up here. They'll shackle you and still have some multiple people. Look at all of them. Look, why do it look like they got their hand on their gun already? Why do it look like they just anticipating on something going wrong just so they can shoot them? Or maybe that's just me. Why they got all of these other? Is these the jurors? I don't know. I just know why there's so many white people here. Is this how we want to live our life? Do shit to our own kind and then have to sit in court with a whole bunch of white people watching the judge finna give us a lynching with years off of our life? This is a modern day lynching of black men when you just have a whole bunch of different white council people going through your life on paperwork. That's all you worth is the paperwork. We ain't worth nothing more than paperwork.
I'm sort of stunned when you take a look at the defendant's criminal history beginning back in 2015, that it shows a consistent pattern of not learning from mistakes. 2015, he was he entered a plea in juvenile court of domestic battery, resisting without violence.
So you don't have to be that smart to be a judge. You ain't got to articulate your words better than I can articulate my words on a YouTube. These motherfuckers stutter and stumble over the same bullshit that they put in front of us and tell us to perfect. That's why we got black people chasing, trying to be the perfect black man in this broken ass system that the people that made this system ain't no type of way perfect. These motherfuckers are on the lower vibration of giving a fuck about humanity as a whole. So why are we perpetuating this violence against each other to just go and have to stand with shackles on in front of people that can't even articulate the shit that they want to say in a court setting?
Making threats. He completed a youth offender program and resulted in that case being dropped, because that was part of the terms of the agreement.
So he know what to do. So you know how to get shit dropped and do shit like that, but then you think that you is just that nigga where you gonna continue to go out and perpetuate that you just this psycho killer, that you just will step on any goddamn thing. You look like a regular young man right there, young Mookie. Y&R Mookie. In all them other videos, you look like you was on the verge of being 30 years old and the verge of being a serial killer, my dude. Real shit. Look how humble you is now. You're probably thankful that you got 10 years.
And so I think most people at that point would have said, I'm going to walk the straight and narrow. And Mr. Jackson, I watched the music videos, and I have to say that I'm appalled at the content of them.
Told you. Then they got these white people watching your videos, your social media, so they get to know exactly what type of person that you want to be. So then they judge you off the person that you want to be, not the person that you is. You understand that? I don't think we do. We're being judged by our outer appearance, not about who we actually are or what we actually stand for. This is the fucking problem. This is why we get into situations we cannot get out of.
Direction. But one thing that really sticks out is Mr. Jackson is a talented young man that
Told you.
could do anything he wanted with his life if he made the right choices.
Exactly.
And I think that the video spoke loud and clear to the jury of what the purpose of that video was. It may have been some art, but that wasn't what it was for.
It looked like he wanted to say something. Like he was almost thinking about that. Trying to raise my hand. Look how formal we gotta be. Do you give them other young brothers that chance when you did what you did on these streets to whoever it may have been? Do we give each other the same breath of fresh air to speak? Do we give our brothers the same time of day that you giving these white motherfuckers because you ain't got no fucking choice? Because you know you say the wrong thing there, I'll railroad your ass right there and there. We don't give our own kind that same dignity or honor that we give when we sit in these goddamn courtrooms.
I don't find Mr. Jackson's assertion that he's not a member of the Young and Ruthless credible. I find that he is not credible when he makes that assertion. And not only that, but I think it's very clear what a charismatic leader he is in the Young and the Ruthless. When people look up to someone who commits crimes, that's a shame, I think. So then we move on from him getting these charges dropped after he's in a plea of guilty to them there's carrying a concealed firearm also in 2015. So he's sentenced to probation.
That's so funny. I ain't never heard a judge say so many times. Maybe it's just me. I just ain't never heard a judge say that many times. It's just funny. Look who finna get, but maybe, hey, shout out to her. She gave him only 10 years. So maybe we need more people that are down to earth and that articulate their message a little less precise. We need to start reading in between the lines of what people actually saying, and not just because somebody can say a straight, complete sentence without hesitate, without bumps or hiccups. Then, oh yeah, it's the person I'm gonna believe. Majority of the time, the devil gonna always have the sweetest lie, and it's gonna always sound like a soothing rhythm.
And there's a carrying concealed firearm and a resisting an officer without violence. And so he is, for the carrying concealed firearm, he's withhold adjudication of delinquency. He's placed on probation. He's giving another shot, another chance. And so then there's a violation of that probation in later in 2015. He doesn't make it very long indeed before there's a violation.
I will say this, and I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to make this video into this. Like I said, free Y&R Mookie, man. Like I said, I hope you become the man that you're supposed to be with the time that you got to either learn more bad habits or to see that life is more deeper than what you was doing out here. But what I am going to make this video into, or turn it into, is this system is corrupt. This system does have us in an illusion of things that we should think we should be doing that we shouldn't be doing, or things that we shouldn't be doing that we actually should be doing. I'm not here to downplay or take credit for anything. What I am gonna say is, like this woman, the judge right there was just saying, they gave him multiple chances, and then he went out there and did the same shit. So a lot of people say, well, they give you a chance so you can go back out there and they can get you for a bigger charge. If I could rob somebody and they didn't have that much, so then I let them go and don't take as much from them, and then come back at another time and they got more, I probably would rob people like that then. So there's nothing wrong with that. That would be just more logical. But the whole point I'm making is that we are given, majority of us are given chances by this quote unquote racist system, especially when we live in the inner environment. This is what we ain't saying. The first time I went to jail, I got a slap on the wrist. Second time I went to jail, I got caught with a gun. I just got probation. Nigga, you done already got 2 slaps on the wrist, but you gonna go out here and continue to perpetuate this same shit after these white people that already gave you a chances. So after the white people that give you a chances, then you keep coming back in front of them. Basically, you spitting in their face, and they already had the power to goddamn railroad you or throw the book at you the first time you came in front of them. But since they had sympathy or compassion for your black ass, the next time they see you, it's a spit in the face. So now you're making them feel inferior, and they know that they got more power over you at that particular time because they gave you a chance to go back out in the world and use your talent for the betterment of you and your own community. Black people, we always trying to blame somebody else for something. No, it's black people problem. Because like I said, when we get chances to get away with shit that we know we shouldn't have got away with, and then we go out there and do the same stupid ass shit. Don't know why, because we raising kids. We're not raising hard-headed adults anymore.
Of that probation. And so then in 2015 CJ 4515, he's enters a plea of guilty to burglary of an unoccupied dwelling. He's adjudicated delinquent. He's put on probation after he's committed to a non-secure residential. And he violates that probation again. He violates his probation when given an opportunity. And in the 2016 case, another burglary of a structure of conveyance, resisting without violence, is not frost, and loitering and crowding is not frost.
I hit that shit too hard.
And so then in that case, he's put on probation, and he violates it again, by another violation of the probation. And then we have the possession of a firearm by adjudicated delinquent, in which he pleads guilty. He's just sentenced to jail. So I see a consistent pattern of violating the law. He's driving with no valid driver's license, and while that may be considered minor, one might think that driving without no valid driver's license is minor. The fact is that it's just another incident of him not complying with the law. In fact, there's two incidences of no valid driver's license. There was one in 2018, and another in 2019. Again, it's it's while it's not a serious crime, it's just another indication of Mr. Jackson's thumbing his nose at the law. And so my concern is that this is now the third firearms offense for which you've been held responsible. And it just seems that your intent on, rather than becoming that successful artist that you could be, with all the potential in the world you have, of just...
See, that's when they throw in them sentimental values, because they know that because they know they finna send your ass up the road. So I can give you all your sentimental flowers right now, so you can take all that shit with you. Think about all that shit that you ain't finna do now, cause I'm finna send your ass up the road. So I'm gonna give you all your sentimental flowers right now. Sit here in court, all this potential shit, all the same shit your mama told you when you was younger and before this shit, and don't stop doing all this shit. Now they finna send your ass up the road. You ain't finna get out until it's 2032. Boy, niggas don't even know where the fuck how the world gonna look like in 2032. Most motherfuckers don't. So just imagine if most of our young soldiers, most of our young children is being either killed or sent to prison. By the time the future get here, the ones that are in prison, they're gonna be living life like it's the goddamn 1900s, and the people that's out here is gonna be living life as if it's the early 2000s, because people still ain't woke up to realize that the future is now, and they gonna realize it until you on that bus down the road, and you're gonna be seeing the same repetitive shit for the next 10 years. But when you was just out in the real world, you was just doing the same repetitive shit. And then you wasn't even willing to die about it. You wasn't willing to die about that 10 years. Think about it. Is you willing to die or go do the 10 years in prison? A lot of people will say they willing to go do 10 years in prison than die. But if I'm willing to do that 10 years, the shit that I'm willing to get caught or go to jail for 10 years on this, that's the same shit I'm willing to stand and die for. If you don't understand that, then this ain't for you, and that ain't for this. TV the star for the star, nah, and we gone. Appreciate it.